Today our topic is sciatic nerve, and we all know that the sciatic nerve is supplied or situated or found into the posterior compartment of the thigh. That means the sciatic nerve supply all the muscles of the posterior compartment, that is the hamstring group of muscle. Here we will discuss about its origin, next its extent, then its codes, its relationship, and its branches. And before I going to discuss about detailing, I want to give you some idea about the sciatic nerve. Here see, this one a picture, and here the yellow color, it is showing the sciatic nerve. Here sciatic nerve, that is this is the hip bone, and this is the point of the greater sciatic foramen. Especially it comes from the lumbosacral plexus, from lumbar 4 to sacrum 1. Then it passes with the greater sciatic foramen, then runs downwards at the posterior compartment of the thigh. Then at the popliteal fossa, here it divides into two parts. One is common peroneal nerve, and this one, this is for common peroneal nerve, and another for this one, this is the tibial nerve. And here the tibial nerve situated like this way in the leg, back side of the leg, and here this is the common peroneal nerve. It again give to branch for the lateral sural cutaneous nerve, and also a medial sural cutaneous nerve which comes from the tibial nerve. Then these two nerves unites together and continue as a sural nerve. And sural nerve, this specially supply the triceps suri muscle, that means soleus muscle and gastrocnemius muscle. So this way the sciatic nerve is situated. So first one, the origin. Here these are the lumbar vertebra from lumbar 4, 5, then sacrum 1, 2 and 3. So these are the lumbosacral, and these are the anterior primary rami. Here from the ventral division, this is the black color, this ventral division, from L4 and L5, S1, S2 and S3. These are the ventral division. Next showing the green color, this is the ventral division, and this is named the tibial nerve. So tibial nerve derived from or originated from the anterior primary rami of the lumbar 4, 5 and sacrum 1, 2 and 3. This is called tibial nerve. Then another from, that is the dorsal division. Dorsal division from the lumbar 4, lumbar 5, sacrum 1 and sacrum 2. It not included into the sacrum 3. So it from lumbar 4 to sacrum 2. That means L4, 5, S1 and S2. They unites together. This is the red color, and it continue as a common peroneal nerve. So the common peroneal nerve, it comes from the anterior primary rami of lumbosacral plexus, lumbar 4, 5, and sacrum 1 and 2. And the sciatic nerve, it is the thickest nerve. So the sciatic nerve, it is the thickest nerve in the body, and it is 1.5 to 2 centimeter wide. Uh, 1.5 to 2 centimeter wide. So it is the thickest nerve and 1.5 to 2 centimeter wide, and it arises from the sacral plexus in the pelvis and consists of two parts, and it arises from the sacral plexus of the pelvis and consists of two parts. One is tibial part and another is common peroneal part. Another is common peroneal part. And the tibial part, it is formed by the ventral division of the anterior primary rami. It is formed by the ventral division of anterior primary rami of lumbar 4, 5, sacrum 1, 2 and 3, and common peroneal part. It is formed by the dorsal division of anterior primary rami of lumbar 4, lumbar 5, sacrum 1 and sacrum 2. Now the extension, this was origin, these are now the extension or extend. It begins at the pelvis and terminates at a joint above the superior angle of the popliteal fossa by dividing into the two division, that is tibial and common peroneal nerve. কি করছে extend, it comes from the sacral plexus of the pelvis. It begins from the sacral plexus of the pelvis and terminates at the joint. That means posterior two-third, upper two-third meeting point of upper two-third meeting point between upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of the posterior part of the thigh. And this part that is called the angle above the superior angle of the popliteal fossa. Above the superior angle of the popliteal fossa. Popliteal fossa. Here the sciatic nerve divides into two parts. That is, one is tibial part, another is common peroneal part. So the sciatic nerve extends from sacral plexus up to this area. That means from the upper 2/3 and lower 1/3, the posterior part of the thigh. That means above the superior angle of the popliteal fossa. Then it continues as a tibial part and common peroneal part, or tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. Now the course. In the pelvis, it lies in front of the piriformis and under cover of its fascia. Here, see a picture. This is the muscle of piriformis, and this is the area of the pelvis. Here, in the pelvis, it lies in front or below the piriformis muscle and under cover of its fascia. Then it enters the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen and below the piriformis. So, quotes, in the pelvis, it lies in front of the piriformis under cover of its fascia. Then it enters the gluteal region. Enters the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen, and we all know that greater sciatic foramen, it is the part of the hip bone. Greater sciatic foramen, and greater sciatic foramen, it is situated below the piriformis muscle. That is piriformis. Here below the piriformis muscle, greater sciatic foramen is situated. So from the pelvis, in the pelvis, it lies in front of the piriformis or within the piriformis muscle, then enters the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen, and here it runs downwards with the slight lateral convexity. here it runs, then it runs downwards and convexity to the lateral side, slight convexity of the lateral side. And then passes between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. Then passes between ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. And greater trochanter. Then it enters the back of the thigh at the lower border of the gluteus maximus. So after passing the ischial between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter, it enters the back of the thigh. That means posterior side of the thigh. Back of the thigh at the lower border of the gluteus maximus muscle. Back of the thigh at the lower border of the gluteus maximus muscle. Then runs vertically downwards. Then runs vertically downward. And then just above the superior angle of the popliteal fossa, or a junction between the upper two-third and lower one-third. It divides into two terminal branches. And that is, one is tibial nerve and another is common peroneal nerve. And these two divisions, that is tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve, this division may occur at any level, and they may run separately from the sacral plexus. So the division of these two nerves, that is tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve, this division may occur at any level. They may come separately from the sacral plexus, like this way. And they may come separately from the sacral plexus. Here see, they come separately from the sacral plexus, and also separate below the, that means here below the at the angle of the popliteal fossa. Here it is separated tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. But in such cases, the common peroneal nerve enters the gluteal region separately through the piriformis in 12% of cases, and above the piriformis 5% of cases. this is the piriformis muscle. Here, when separately runs the two nerve, that is the tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. In cases in the gluteal region, when they pass through the piriformis muscle, the chance of probability is 12%. In case of common peroneal nerve, when separately they are continue, the probability of passing through the piriformis muscle in case of common peroneal nerve, the probability is 12%, and above the piriformis muscle, the probability is 0.5%. And tibial nerve passes always below the piriformis muscle. Now the surface marking. If we want to draw a picture about the sciatic nerve, especially in the gluteal region, I had 3 pointer showing. This is first point, second point, and that is the third point. The first point is marked that one, and this is the red color dot. It is showing the first point, and first point means it is the mark between 2.5 centimeter lateral to the midpoint of the line joining. It is the line joining of the anterior superior iliac spine and ischial tuberosity. This is the hip bone, and this is the femur. Here, this area it is called anterior superior iliac spine, and this is the ischial tuberosity. And if we draw a line between the anterior superior iliac spine and ischial tuberosity, and its midpoint, from the midpoint 2.5 centimeter lateral. This is the first point. Next, the second point. Second point is marked between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. This is the ischial tuberosity. There is a line between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter of the femur. Between this midpoint is the second point, and third point at the junction of upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of the back of the thigh. This is the back of the thigh, and this point, this is showing the upper 2/3 and lower 1/3, and this is also called the superior angle of the popliteal fossa. From here the popliteal fossa begins. So there are total 3 points. That is the first point. That means the line joining at the anterior superior iliac spine and the ischial tuberosity, and between them from the midpoint, the 2.5 centimeter lateral. That is the first point, and the second point is marked between the ischial tuberosity and the greater trochanter of the femur, and third point is marked at the junction of the upper 2/3 and lateral 1/3 of the thigh. And after this, a thick curved line. This green color is showing the sciatic nerve. So a thick curved line. It is here. It is curved, thick curved line, and thick curved line with outward convexity. Here convexity showing the outward. This is the outward side or lateral side. Here outward convexity and thick curve. Thick means they are about 2 centimeter wide, and thick curved line, outward convexity joining the first and second point. First and second point. That is the first point and second point. Then joining the second point and third point, and second and third. It's somehow like a straight line. So a thick curved line about 2 centimeter wide with outward convexity joining the first and second point represent the sciatic nerve in the gluteal region. This is the area for gluteal region. and the thick straight line at the same width joining the second and third point represents the sciatic nerve in the thigh. So again I repeat its codes. That means in the pelvis, that is the pelvis bone. In the pelvis, it lies in front of the piriformis muscle under cover of its fossa. Then it enters the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen. This is the greater sciatic foramen. It enters the gluteal region through the greater sciatic foramen, and here it runs downwards like this, downwards with slight lateral convexity. See here a lateral convexity runs downwards and lateral convexity and pass between the, that is the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. Pass between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. Then it enters the back of the thigh at the lower border of the gluteus maximus muscle. Here gluteus maximus muscle is present. Here when it enters the back of the thigh, the situation of the greater sciatic nerve, that is the lower border of the gluteus maximus muscle, and runs vertically downwards and just above the, that is the just above the superior angle of the popliteal fossa, that is the meeting point between upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of the back of the thigh. Then it divides into two divisions, that is tibial nerve and common peroneal nerve. So on the head, surface marking also is covered. Here 3 points are found during getting surface marking of the sciatic nerve. That the first point is marked 2.5 centimeter lateral to the midpoint of the line joining the anterior superior iliac spine and ischial tuberosity. Next, the second point, it is marked midway between the ischial tuberosity, or midpoint between the ischial tuberosity and greater trochanter. And greater trochanter. That's the third point. It is marked at the junction between the upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 of the back of the thigh. Upper 2/3 and lower 1/3 the back of the thigh. Now The two relationships are found. One is superficial relation and another is deep relation. So from above downwards, the sciatic nerve is related to, here in case of superficial, from above downwards, sciatic nerve is related to gluteus maximus in the gluteal region, gluteus maximus muscle in the gluteal region, and the long head of the biceps femoris in the thigh, long head of biceps femoris. In the thigh. Here, look at the picture. This is the superficial relation of the sciatic nerve. Here, this muscle, this is called the gluteus maximus muscle. And here, and this is the ischial tuberosity, and here the long head of the biceps femoris muscle is found. So these are the superficial relation of the sciatic nerve. From above downwards, the green color that is showing the sciatic nerve. From above downwards, there are two muscles found. One is gluteus maximus muscle, it is, and another is long head of biceps femoris muscle. Here between the gluteus maximus muscle and biceps femoris muscle, long head of biceps femoris muscle, there is a gap, or this point, this is uncovered. There is no muscle is found, and for this, here the sciatic nerve is accessible, and it is importance for the importance, and here found a special feature which is called sleeping foot or paresthesia of foot. I will discuss it later. So the superficial relationship from above downwards, and the sciatic nerve is related to the gluteus maximus muscle in the gluteal region, and next the long head of the biceps femoris muscle, long head of the biceps femoris muscle in the thigh region. And the sciatic nerve here is accessible at the back of the thigh, only angle between the, this is the angle between the gluteus maximus muscle and the long head of biceps femoris. Here the sciatic nerve is accessible. Now the deep relationship, superficial relationship, next deep relationship. That means these are found deep to the sciatic nerve. This is also called bed of sciatic nerve. Bed of sciatic nerve. Because the sciatic nerve is lying between this muscle, that's why it is called bed of sciatic nerve. Here from above downwards, that sciatic nerve is related to the following muscle or bony part. That first one is body of the ischium, its posterior surface, body of ischium, its posterior surface. Next, gemellus superior muscle, third, and the tendon of the obturator internus, These are the muscles of the gluteal region, and we have already discussed these muscles while discussing about the muscles of the gluteal region. Obturator internus. Next, the gemellus inferior muscle. Next, quadratus femoris. Next muscle is adductor magnus. So, in case of deep relationship, also it is called the bed of sciatic nerve. From here above downwards, that sciatic nerve is related to body of the ischium, especially its posterior surface, and gemellus superior. Next, tendon of the obturator internus and gemellus inferior and quadratus femoris and adductor magnus. Here, this is the deep relationship of the sciatic nerve. This is the bed of sciatic nerve. From above downwards, the following features are found. First one, that is the here. This is called the ischium bone, and this is the body of the ischium. First one, the body of ischium, and especially its posterior surface. Next, superior gemelli. This muscle, this is called superior gemelli. Then the red color, this is showing the obturator internus muscle. Then another muscle below the obturator internus, that is the gemellus inferior muscle. Next, this muscle, this is the quadratus femoris muscle, and this is the muscle of adductor magnus. Here, the sciatic nerve is lying this way and above this structure. That's why it is called the bed of the sciatic nerve. Next, the branches of the sciatic nerve. Here the articular branch, found the articular branch. Articular branch, especially articular branch to the hip joint. Articular branch to the hip joint. This branch come directly from the sacral plexus. Next to the muscular branch. Muscular branch supplies to the hamstring group of muscle. That means this group of muscle found especially the posterior compartment of the thigh, and we all know what are the hamstring group of muscle, because we have already discussed about the hamstring group of muscle or the posterior compartment of the thigh. Here the muscles are semitendinosus, next semimembranosus, the long head of biceps femoris, the biceps femoris has two heads. One is long head, another is short head. Here long head, it is supplied by the sciatic nerve, but tibial part of the sciatic nerve, and the adductor magnus. It has also two parts. One is hamstring part or ischial fibers, and another is adductor part. Here hamstring part, this is supplied by the sciatic nerve. So all these muscle, that is the semitendinosus, semimembranosus, long head of biceps femoris, adductor magnus, these are supplied by the tibial nerve of tibial part of the sciatic nerve, or tibial nerve via sciatic nerve. Means these are supplied by the tibial part of the sciatic nerve. But this is the long head, the short head of biceps femoris. Short head of biceps femoris. It is supplied by the common peroneal nerve, or common peroneal part, the sciatic nerve, or common peroneal part of the sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve. Here, these are the branches of the sciatic nerve. One is articular branch, which coming directly from the sacral plexus, supply the hip joint. Next, these are the muscular branch. The green color, this is showing the tibial part or tibial nerve of the sciatic nerve, or tibial part of the sciatic nerve, and the blue color, this is showing the common peroneal nerve. Here, these are the branches, and it is the tibial nerve. It is supply the semitendinosus muscle, then semimembranosus muscle, then long head of the biceps femoris, then adductor magnus muscle, especially its hamstring part, and the common peroneal nerve, it supply the short head of the biceps femoris muscle. Now there is a clinical importance, it is called clinical significance or importance. That is the sleeping foot. Sleeping foot, that means there is paresthesia in the lower limb. Paresthesia in the lower limb. And paresthesia means loss of sensation. And it is due to compression of the sciatic nerve. Sciatic nerve. And it is caused by due to pressure sorry due to it is due to pressure against the femur against the femur at the lower border of the gluteus maximus muscle. Of gluteus maximus muscle. And it is found when a person is sleeping, or when a person is sit on the hard edge of a chair, sit on the hard edge of a chair, hard edge of the chair for a long time. So sleeping fit means there is paresthesia in the lower limb, and paresthesia means there is loss of sensation, and it is due to the compression of the sciatic nerve. Here the pressure is felt against the femur at the lower border of the gluteus maximus muscle, and when a patient or when a person is sit on a hard edge on the chair for a long time, মানে একজন পার্সন যখন কোনো হার্ড চেয়ারে তার একদম এজ মানে শেষ প্রান্তে গিয়ে বসে থাকে অনেকক্ষণ ধরে, তখন কি হচ্ছে এই সাইটিক নার্ভের উপর প্রেসার আসছে, এবং সেই প্রেসারটা সাইটিক নার্ভে যেই পড়ছে এগেনস্ট দা, ও কোথায় প্রেসার দিচ্ছে ফিমারে, এবং ফিমার আলটিমেটলি চাপ দিচ্ছে গ্লুটিয়াস ম্যাক্সিমাস মাসেলে, আলটিমেটলি ওটা কম্প্রেশন হচ্ছে কোথায় আমার সাইটিক নার্ভে। এই জন্য কি হয় টেম্পোরারিলি এখানে একটা প্যারাস্থেসিয়া কন্ডিশন ডেভেলপ করে, এটাকে বলা হয় স্লিপিং ফুট। তো কেন স্পেশালি এটা কোথায় দেখা যায় না, ইন কেস অফ সুপারফিশিয়াল রিলেশনশিপে, যেটা আমি অলরেডি ডিসকাস করেছি, হুইচ আই হ্যাভ অলরেডি ডিসকাস, দ্যাট ইজ দ্য পয়েন্ট হিয়ার, দিস ইজ দ্য অ্যাঙ্গেল বিটুইন দ্য gluteus maximus muscle and long head of biceps muscle. There this area, this is not covered by the muscle, or that means this part is uncovered. When a person sit long time on a hard chair, the pressure is felt and against the femur, and here this point the compression is occurred in this point of the sciatic nerve. That's why in the lower limb for a time being the paresthetic condition is developed. This is called the sleeping foot. And also another importance, that means in case of sciatica, that means pain along the course of the sciatic nerve, and for reduce the pain, the Novocaine injection is given for relieving the pain, and the Novocaine injection is given at the midpoint between the ischial tuberosity and the greater trochanter. Here the second point, here the Novocaine injection is given. It is not our view or our method, especially the homeopathy, it is the orthodox view or the allopathic mode of treatment. They inject the Novocaine for reducing the pain in case of sciatic nerve. And here this is the point, is the between the ischial tuberosity and the greater trochanter of the femur. So what are the point here in case of sciatic nerve? The origin, extension and course, also the surface, and another point, there is surface marking and relationship. Next, branch of the sciatic nerve, and next some clinical importance. These are mainly importance what in case of sciatic nerve. Thanks.